In this video, I'm going to go over why exactly does Bitcoin matter. A lot of people talk about cryptocurrency. They say, hey, there's no use case. It's all a Ponzi. There's no value actually in it. And a lot of times these same people saying this don't actually know anything about crypto. So I find it pretty hilarious every time I hear this. Now, in order to answer why Bitcoin matters, I first have to bring up the issues with the current fiat system. And fiat meaning US dollars, euros, yen, whatever the case is, right? The first issue is that it's extremely centralized. You have, let's say, the US government having completely control over the monetary system where they can decide at any point in time how much additional money they want to print, if they want to take the US dollar off of the gold standard, if they want to add it onto something else, if they want to start some sort of war or give out free money. It is completely centralized. And even though we vote for the people in office, we don't actually have too much control over the monetary policy. And because of that, things are constantly changing. And if you look at the value of the dollar over time, it literally looks like a meme coin, guys. It has just continually decreased over time. And that's the US dollar. There's a lot of other worse currencies out there. The second thing here that goes hand in hand is there's an unlimited supply of dollars. They actually inflate at 2% a year. And the inflation has been higher than that, especially with what happened with COVID. So every single year, your money gets devalued. The next issue here is that bank fees can be expensive and there can also be slow transfers, especially when you're trying to transfer money on a global scale. Sometimes you can't even do this. And if you can do it, it can be expensive and take a lot of time. Another issue with the fiat system is an overall lack of privacy. You then have the custody of money, which is holding your money in banks to be secure. But then we've seen in 2008, 2009, when all the major banks collapsed in the US because of improper management and a lack of regulation. And we even see now with fractional reserve banking that for every dollar you deposit into the bank, they can actually spend and invest $10. So it's one of those issues with banks where all of your money is trying to be secure in a bank, but you don't know if they're actually going to properly manage that money, especially with these fractional reserve systems. And we saw over the past couple years, a few different major banks actually go bankrupt. And then the last major issue with fiat currency is the financial exclusion on a global scale. Think about it, guys. If you're in Africa, they don't have the same infrastructure or financial infrastructure when it comes to having banks, when it comes to getting loans, when it comes to borrowing, lending, whatever the case is, they are excluded from a lot of these different opportunities. And it makes it hard for different businesses to kickstart, especially when in those institutions, there is a lot of corruption and centralization. So now why does Bitcoin matter? Well, Bitcoin matters, or cryptocurrency matters in general, because it's aiming to solve all of these issues. Instead of being centralized where one party or one government can control everything, it is instead decentralized where you have all these computers around the world for Bitcoin that are solving these puzzles and verifying that these transactions are legit. You then have a fixed amount of supply at 21 million. So we're all playing by the same rule book. We're not playing by different rules where the rules can change. These rules are embedded in code and they cannot be manipulated. We all know there's 21 million fixed supply, and the amount of new Bitcoin coming out every single year is something that is already predefined and predetermined that everyone is aware of. Another benefit of cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin in particular, is you're able to have lower cost as well as faster global settlement. I can easily send a transaction using Bitcoin to anyone in the world, and in under 10 minutes, a lot of times it'll arrive to them, and a lot of times it'll only cost around $4 or $5, and that's with Bitcoin that's more expensive than other blockchains out there. You also have the privacy aspect where you can have wallets where people don't know exactly who you are. They can always track that wallet and see these transactions on the ledger, but you have that privacy of people not knowing all of your business. And then the last thing is you have self-custody. You can store this Bitcoin in your own keys, and this is one of the biggest advantages of crypto. You don't have to worry about a bank following some sort of regulation or something like that, or all the money being taken away. Instead, you can actually own and control that Bitcoin in a safe way without worrying about it getting robbed either. Now, I brought up a lot of those use cases, and those use cases stem from all of these different blockchains, but that's mostly if you view Bitcoin or if you view crypto as an alternative to fiat currency. And even though that's what the original idea was for Bitcoin, unfortunately, it can't handle enough TPS or transactions per second to really be scalable enough to be the next Visa that's handling millions of transactions every single second. So with Bitcoin, it has become more of a storage store of value than anything. So it has the benefits of global trade and transactability. It has the benefits of the fixed supply. You have the security aspect where there's never been a hack or exploit all the way since 2009. You have the custody of not needing it in a bank. It's decentralized, so no one party can manipulate and change the rules or anything like that. You have the privacy, and then on top of that, you have increasing adoption, where now all of a sudden you have all these major institutions, hedge funds, spot ETFs starting to get involved, and a lot of different companies starting to add Bitcoin on their balance sheets. So in my opinion, Bitcoin is the best store of value that has ever been created in the history of monetary policy. And I think people are really going to start recognizing Bitcoin as the ultimate hedge to the fiat system, the ultimate hedge to inflation, and something that's going to hold its value way better than other commodity assets out there, such as real estate or gold, because it has all these additional benefits. The last thing that I want to bring up Bitcoin is, yes, it's a store of value, but bigger than that, it is an idea. It is a movement. It is more than just money, but it's the idea of what if in the first time in history, we can have the power of monetary policy in the hands of a decentralized organization, or in the hands of a decentralized party, aka we the people. And this is actually a very big movement, because there has been a lot of corruption in governments around the world. And when they control the money, they can really control every single aspect of our life. So Bitcoin and the blockchain in general is the idea of putting financial freedom into the hands of the people. And this has been by having a system where everyone is playing by the same game. Everyone is playing by the same rules. And these rules cannot simply be changed because some sort of political figure decided to change them. No more printing trillions of dollars or trillions of Bitcoin out of nowhere, or banks going belly up due to poor mismanagement and the people losing their money, but instead having this decentralized network of people that own their money, that own the rights to the money, that can have privacy with their money, that can transact with their money, send money to anyone in the world without needing to go through these different parties, or without worrying about a crazy amount of inflation or some sort of war or political unrest that destabilizes a currency. It's really funny. You might hear these things and you might think, oh, this is not that big of a deal. I'm just here to make money in crypto. But the more you're into crypto and the more you learn about this, the more you'll actually value this decentralization and what Bitcoin was really about and what these other blockchains are trying to achieve.